day here at the Jeep World Junior Championships for the beautiful Bombo Beach, Kiama, New South Wales. And this is the final heat of 18 for the day. We ran through 12 action-packed heats of men's, and round one of the girls is all but in the books to settle the dust on the final heat of the day. Summer Macedo, Sofia Fulton and Taina Hinckel, a Brazilian, an Aussie and a Hawaiian. So the three powerhouses all represented in this final bout for the day.
I mean, this heat right now in the water.
And here goes Summer Macedo getting things going on her backhand. Drives around, hammers that first section. Beautiful first turn, and it's just going to be the one turn, but it was a pretty impressive one. So opening her account in style. And, well, looking forward to seeing more from Summer. We already saw her brother Ocean compete earlier today.
So yeah, this is the replay from Summer. She's just projecting down the line, waiting patiently, comes off the bottom nice and square, and there's that low center of gravity, just making sure she rides out of that wave. Doesn't want to make any mistakes. No nosedives there, as we saw in a few of those earlier heats. That low tide bank really getting exposed now as we come up to probably about an hour away from the dead low tide, and adapt accordingly as we see Sofia Fulton now putting one up. Also a single turn on that wave, maybe not as much aggression in that turn as she kind of floated down with it. And there goes Taina.
This is Taina Hinckel. Strong opening wave. She gets a second section. She's looking pretty fast over that flat water, but can't ride out of that one. So it's just going to be sort of 1.5 turns in the eyes of the judges.
Yeah, yet to be locked in. This first of blue and the first of white.
Yep, here's our heat leader, Summer Macedo. And she got a 4.67 for one turn on her last wave. She gets the one turn in and then can't ride out of her second on that one.
Yeah, she locked in a 2.83 on her second one, did Summer. And Taina locked in a 4.73. So even though that wave was incomplete, Binzi, she got a pretty solid score. And here we go, Sofia Fulton on her backhand. What can she do? She's lining up this inside section. That's a nice strong turn. Can she bang up another one? Yep, a little white water climb to finish off that wave. So some nice rhythm being set there by Sophia. And there goes Taina. Down the line, just catches the inside edge there as the fin's released through that shore break section. 4.30 for last of blue. Sophia just looking for a 3.67 now to go into that lead. Summer Macedo in second place, looking for a 3.30. And the lead being held down by Taina Hinckel, the Brazilian.
And here goes Summer Macedo. She's found herself another. Her wave selection's been great. She's fighting these clean green walls. She's linked this one through to the inside. Is it going to reward her with a section? And she sort of stands up out of that one. She didn't fall off, but she didn't really ride out convincingly. So it's not going to add a ton of points. All the damage done out the back. She's only looking for a 3.3, and that'll be very much in the ballpark. So just enough to put her into first. Taina Hinckel now looking for a 3.37. And the lady who's up and riding, Sofia Fulton, that is a big first turn. She's tracking down a 3.81. And, well, I reckon she's done it. Three great turns and some energy coming from the beach.
Sofia Fulton, I'm going to say, probably picked up the best wave of the heat so far. Nice open-faced left-hander. She looked like she was full of energy on that one. Had a nice rhythm going on that wave. Got a bit of power too in those turns, Windsy, but I'm sure we'll see that on the replay. That second turn from line was the money shot. And she's looking now to get a 3.81 to launch her into first place.
And there it is, a 6.17. Here is the replay.
Yeah, so she bowed her time nicely on that first section. Got through the flat section nicely and worked it in the inside. So 3 turns in there, and not necessarily giving points per turn, but nice to be able to find an open wave, an open face wave that allowed those 3 turns. And Sofia Fulton, courtesy of that last 6.17, has found herself in the lead with 19 minutes remaining.
And here goes our heat leader, Sofia Fulton. She's a long way south of her fellow competitors, and it seems to be working for her. She's found a nice wave there, looking to replace a 4.3. That'll go close. A couple of crisp turns. It was a good-looking green wall.
Yeah, she's definitely building up a head of steam now. I'd love to see Sophia surfing some bigger waves. She looks like she's got a great style. She got a bit of power in those turns, and she was rewarded, Binzi, with a 5.23 on that last one. So the judges liking that commitment, liking that rhythm and that flow, 2 turns in the bag of 5.23. She's just extended the lead.
She really has. So Sofia Macedo now needing a 6.73 and Taina Hinckel needing a 6.67, and this is the replay, Brad.
Yeah, she set up that turn nicely, and again, that final turn really put an exclamation point on that wave. Got the fins to drift a little bit on that last turn, and just free fell out of that little mini section on the inside. So 5.23, 2 turns, 6.17. The highest scoring wave of the heat was also owned there by Sofia Fulton. So 16.5 minutes remaining. She's definitely mounting a good attack on this heat, and of course the prestige of being the world junior champion.
Yep, here goes Taina Hinckel on her backhand, the surfer in white. So it's the lefts are the order of the day across the last 2 heats. And a couple of nice turns there. She's looking for a 6.67. It's not going to be up there, but she will definitely dislodge her 3.23. Whether or not that usurps her 4.73 and narrows the gap to first, well, we'll bring you that once the judges give us our answer.
For that score that came in of Taina Hinckel, not so much in that first score, but all the points in that second closing maneuver, 5.20. She hops up into second place, looking for that 6.20 now to go into the lead. We're at the halfway mark, 15 minutes remaining.
Towards the end of the window, here goes Sofia Fulton. She's buzzing about the state of this heat. She's out in front, and
she is growing in stature in this heat.
Isn't she?
That is an amazing wave, and again, I think she's going to top out best scoring wave of the heat, potentially on that one. I just love the flow she had, and we spoke to the head judge this morning, Patamo, about what he's looking for, and outside of progression and aerials, he was saying he wants to see the combination of manoeuvres, and I think what Sophia managed to do there was she had a combination of manoeuvres, but it was done with speed, power, and flow. So let's see what the judges thought of that one. We'll bring it to you with 12.5 minutes remaining.
Yep, definitely answering to the criteria with those couple of turns.
Yeah, a pair of 6s required, 6.2 by Taina and 6.73 by Summer. And these scores are dropping. It will be the highest scoring wave of the heat, and might even be the second highest scoring heat of the score of the day as far as the women's is concerned. Let's have a look as one more score to drop, Benzie.
Yep, there it is, a 7.67 for Sofia Fulton. So she is going from strength to strength as this heat marches on. And the job just got that little bit harder for Taina Hinckel. She requires an 8.64. And Summer Macedo is looking for a 9.17.
With that one, a lot harder with that one. A 7.67, one of the highest scoring waves of the day in the girls, in the women's draw, heat 1, round 1. And look at this. This is a nice big solid turn off the top, straight into the second turn. There was no hesitation, no bobbling between the 2 turns. She went straight up and down on both those turns, and yeah, well-deserved score. Got 2 8s thrown at her by 2 judges, a couple of 7.5s and a 7.2, and that averaged out at a 7.67. She's certainly got a stranglehold on this heat right now.
To play into it, and I think that helps to have come down, had a couple of surfs. So a lot of the crew have got here a few days ago, check in, see how it goes, and there's a lot of nerves on day one. Everyone's been pretty nervous because it's a big show for a lot of the internationals and a lot of the Australians, and they get in and it's their first hit out and it gets a bit nervy. Have you noticed that?
As he opened his account and advanced straight to round 3. Here goes Summer Macedo. She's caught a wave while we were talking to Flano, and this is another one. So she's got 2 scores still to drop into her tally. 8.5 minutes remaining. We've got a minor score coming in from Taina Hinckel. That's not going to affect anything too seriously. And yep, just waiting on those couple of scores for Summer Macedo. Yep, she's looking for 9.17. It's not going to be that, but she only needs to replace a 4.67 to vault up the leaderboard, and there it is, a 5.9. So that's her best wave. Moves her into second. More importantly, she now needs a 7.94. So a far more attainable target for Summer Macedo with 7.5 minutes remaining. Her last score is just coming in. It's going to be a -1, won't affect the standings. But her second last wave, a 5.9, takes her into second, and more importantly, narrows her gap to first place. A fun fact about Mark Flanagan, who we just saw talking to JJ. Well, here goes our heat leader, Sofia Fulton. She'll be looking to distance herself further again if she can replace that 6.17. She's really looking fluent out there. Well, here goes Taina Hinckel. She realises that she doesn't have priority, so she turns left to get away from Summer Macedo. We've already seen interferences come into play once today. Summer can't ride out of that, so there's not going to be too much of a consequence that results from that exchange, but very wise surfing from Taina Hinckel there, just veering left to stay away from her opponent. She doesn't want to cost herself away and, in effect, any chance of getting through this heat by landing an interference.
Yeah, that's right. Summer saw the scoring opportunity on that wave. It was one of those lefts that ran down the beach, and she tried to make the most of it. Didn't quite run out of it, but this is the recap now with Summer Macedo's first rate. That was a big crack off the top for about 4.67. And then Sofia Fulton started the train going here. This is a 6.17. Nice fluid style, down the line surfing, punctuated with some big turns in between. And then this is the wave of 7.67. Nice crack off the top, combination of maneuvers, speed, power and flow. And she was happy with that one. That put her into the lead well and truly. 5.5 minutes remaining in this one.
Maybe not one of the biggest name surfers in the draw, and definitely not one of the biggest when it comes to stature, but she was really, really good in Heat 2, as we see Taina Hinckel throwing plenty of water around the place. She needs an 8.64. This wave's looking pretty good, and she's not done yet. She wants to ride out of that, and unfortunately, she's left a couple of points on the table, so that's unfortunate for her.
In the under 19s.
And a noteworthy alteration to the regular championship tour format is that round 3 in the women and round 4 in the men's heats. First and second progress, and third goes home. So we save 2 rounds because on the championship tour, first jumps to the quarters and second and third surf again in round 5.
Almost a carbon copy of one of the earlier waves today, but she's been really impressive in the seat format.
Yep. All right, here goes Summer Macedo. She's looking for 7.94. This is a great wave. Throws plenty of water.
Oh, can she hold on?
Wow, 3 turns. Very nicely put together. There was a slight little wobble in that second one, but it didn't really hold her back at all. She sheared off a big sheet of salt water. And we're going to have a look at the replay, I'm sure. But here goes Taina Hinckel. She's chasing a big score, an 8.64. And that was a nice turn. And gets a second, slightly flatter turn and finishes. There wasn't that big oomph moment at the end of that wave.
That's right. I think the difference between that wave and Summer's wave, Summer had a lot more speed across the open face as she went along that left-hander. She like I said, she had that little bubble in the halfway through that wave. But we'll check out that replay. Both 3 turns on that wave, but I think you probably see Summer's wave coming out slightly higher than Taina's.
All right, 1 minute to go. This is the replay of Summer Macedo.
Yeah, got some nice little speed turn off that white water floater. That's a turn that she almost bubbled, but she recorrected nicely and finished strongly on that third turn. So it's still a lot of speed. Didn't lose much out of that little nosedive, and she pulled it back up again quite nicely.
All right, well, 7.87 for the last wave of Sofia Fulton. That's put Taina Hinckel in a combination. Summer Macedo now needs a 9.64, and we're under the 10-second mark. So it looks like the wild card. The local hope has stomped her name all over this one. Yeah, very impressive performance. We've still got a score to come in for Summer Macedo, and it's a good one, 7.5. It would have been enough if Sophia hadn't just upped her score even further with that 7.87 right at the end.
Yeah, what a great finish.
Well, she's going to make her way in to the beach, and there's local wildcards and there's local wildcards. Sofia Fulton, she comes from just down the road at Mollymook. She's coached by Pam Burridge, world champion, who also lives at Mollymook. She's riding DP surfboards. He's from right there in Ulladulla. She's sponsored by Ocean and Earth. They've been making leggies and accessories in this hood forever, and her other major sponsor is the Ocean View Motel.
Oh, there you go.
In Mollymook. She works there, and it's her parents' place.
Fantastic. Well, impressive performance there by Sofia Fulton. Really one to watch now. She's certainly put a stake in the ground along with some of those other performances that you mentioned earlier. So fantastic stuff there from Sofia Fulton.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, 18 wonderful heats of surfing seen here today at Bombo Beach in Kiama.